Hi there. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. My name is Gwen, and I am here to help you learn English. I am your friendly guide to all things English. Today, I am speaking alone. But don't worry, I will make this episode fun, easy, and clear. Let's talk about a question that many people ask. Is English hard to learn? Some people think it is very hard. Others think it is easy. So, which is true? Let's explore together. First, let's think about why English might feel hard to learn. One reason is spelling. English spelling can be very strange. For example, the word night has a silent K. Why is the K there? It does not make any sound. It's just sitting there, doing nothing. Another example is the word though. It is spelled one way but pronounced in a completely different way. You might think it should sound like oh, but no, it sounds like though. Spelling can really confuse learners. English is full of surprises like this, and it makes people wonder, why are there so many rules if we don't always follow them? Another reason English feels hard is grammar. English has many rules, but it also has many exceptions to those rules. For example, there are words like there, and there. These words sound the same, but they are used differently. There refers to a place, there shows possession, and there is short for they are. This can be very confusing for learners. It's like English is playing tricks on you. You think you've learned a rule and then, surprise, you find an exception. For example, why do we say mice instead of mouses? It's tricky, right? Pronunciation is another challenge. In English, some words are spelled one way but pronounced differently. For example, the word read can sound like read or read, depending on the tense. This can make learning English feel like solving a puzzle. You have to guess the correct pronunciation sometimes. And let's not forget about words like kernel. It's spelled one way but sounds completely different. Kernel. It's no wonder people scratch their heads when learning English. Vocabulary is also tricky. English has many synonyms. These are words that mean the same thing but are used in different ways. For example, big, large, and huge all mean the same thing, but we don't use them in the same situations. Another example is homophones. These are words that sound the same but have different meanings. For example, flower and flower sound the same but mean very different things. Then there are words with multiple meanings. For example, the word bank can mean the side of a river or a place to keep your money. If I say, I went to the bank, you might need to ask me which one I mean. Idioms add another layer of difficulty. Idioms are phrases that do not mean what they seem to mean. For example, it's raining cats and dogs means it is raining very heavily. It does not mean animals are falling from the sky. Another idiom is break a leg, yes, which means good luck. Imagine hearing this for the first time. You might think it means something bad will happen. But in English, it is a positive phrase. Idioms can be confusing, but they also make English fun and colorful. Accents can also make English hard to learn. English is spoken in many countries. People in the US, UK, Australia, and India all speak English, but their accents are different. For example, Americans say schedule with an S sound, while British people say it with a sh sound. These differences can confuse learners. It can feel like you're learning several versions of English at the same time. Even native speakers sometimes have trouble understanding different accents. Now, let's compare English to other languages. Is English harder than French or German? Not really. For example, French and German have more verb forms. In French, every noun has a gender. It can be masculine or feminine. In English, nouns do not have gender. This makes it simpler. Also, English sentence structure is straightforward. It usually follows the pattern subject plus verb plus object. Other languages, like German, have more complex sentence structures. For example, in German, the verb often goes to the end of the sentence, which can be confusing. Another reason English is easier than some languages is its global presence. English is spoken all over the world. You can find English movies, songs, and books almost anywhere. This makes it easier to practice. You can watch an English movie with subtitles or listen to an English song. These are fun ways to learn and improve your skills. Also, many apps and websites are available to help you learn English. From online lessons to language exchange programs, the resources are endless. Now, let's talk about why learning English is worth it. First, English is the language of the internet. Over 60% of websites are in English. This means knowing English gives you access to a lot of information and entertainment. You can read articles, watch videos, and join online communities. For example, you can find recipes, watch funny videos, or learn new skills, all in English. Second, knowing English can help your career. Many companies want employees who can speak English. For example, international companies like Microsoft and Samsung use English as their main language. If you know English, you may find better job opportunities. Studies show that people who speak English earn more money than those who don't. Imagine being able to work with people from all over the world just because you can speak English. Isn't that amazing? Third, English helps with travel. English is spoken in over 100 countries. Even in places where English is not the main language, many people know it as a second language. This makes traveling easier. You can ask for directions, order food, and have simple conversations with people. For example, if you visit Japan or Brazil, you are likely to find someone who can speak English and help you. Finally, English helps you connect with others. Imagine meeting someone from another country. If you both speak English, you can have a real conversation. You can share stories, learn about each other's cultures, and make new friends. This is a wonderful feeling. English is not just a language, it's a bridge that connects people from different backgrounds. So, how can you make learning English easier? Here are some tips. First, immerse yourself in English. This means surrounding yourself with the language. You can watch English TV shows, listen to English music, or set your phone to English. When you immerse yourself, you learn naturally. You hear how words are used in real-life situations. For example, watching a comedy show can teach you jokes and casual phrases. Second, practice every day. Even if you only practice for 5 minutes, it helps. You can write a short sentence, read a paragraph, or listen to a podcast. The key is consistency. The more you practice, the better you get. Think of it like exercise. The more you do, the stronger you become. Third, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. For example, when I started learning English, I once said, I am onion instead of I am on it. Everyone laughed, but I never forgot the correct phrase. Every mistake is a chance to learn, so don't worry about being perfect. Just keep trying. Fourth, focus on learning phrases, not just words. For example, instead of learning the words how and go separately, learn the phrase, how's it going? This helps you sound more natural when speaking English. Phrases also help you understand common expressions better. Fifth, Celebrate your progress. Every small step matters. If you learn a new word or have a good conversation, celebrate it. Treat yourself to something you enjoy. This keeps you motivated. For example, you can reward yourself with your favorite snack after practicing. Now, let's learn some new phrases together. The first phrase is take a nap. This means to sleep for a short time during the day. For example, I am tired. I will take a nap. The second phrase is rain cats and dogs. This means to rain very heavily. For example, we can't go outside. It's raining cats and dogs. The next phrase is keep someone guessing. This means to make something unclear or a surprise. For example, the ending of the movie kept me guessing. Another phrase is throw in, which means to add something extra. For example, I'll throw in some tips to help you learn English. Finally, let's learn throw someone off. This means to confuse someone. For example, the new rules threw me off. These phrases are fun to learn and use. Before we end, let's practice with some questions. First, how do you handle synonyms in English? For example, I use context to understand when to use them. Second, how do accents change how words sound? For example, accents like American and British make words sound different, like schedule. Learning English is not always easy, but it is worth it. Remember, every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Keep practicing and stay confident. You are doing great. Let's keep learning together. See you next time.